All right. Uh, I'll cover BioVie. That's BIVI stock next, and this will be for Okie State. Shout out to you, homie. And then I think that that covers everything that everybody wanted me to cover. Um, and we can just, you know, talk freely after that. The so so BioV, it does look really interesting on the daily chart. The volume direction candles do point to a big short covering event because this got pushed down really hard. The volume here to push the market down smacks of a giant short entry and buyer take profit. There was a lot of bullishness coming in here over a length of time during the bull market, and then they dumped right on the 7th of September. And then after the market found some strength again, it went on another run. Now we're starting to see that same V shape, and I think that we might end up popping and getting a big drop again. It's really hard to say. I'm looking at the details of the company over here. So their big pull is they're a clinical stage biopharma company marketing drug therapies for liver disease based out of Carson City, Nevada. So they've got some good analyst ratings. Their revenue is not good. They are clearly losing money, but I want to take a closer look at the financials and see how much assets they have on their balance sheet. So their liabilities right now are to the tune of 4 million, with most of that in other liabilities, representing current liabilities besides short-term. That's helpful. So current liabilities except the ones that we've named. Like, what does that include? All right. Well, anyway, um, they have additional long-term debt of $12.8 million. So their total net debt versus uh their total liabilities and shareholder equity is negative 8.39 million. Their assets in the form of cash are at $21 million. They have a pretty high rate of cash burn. Then what is their cash flow? Their cash flow is terrible. They're getting all of this from financing, almost entirely from the issuance of stock. Correction, half of it's coming from issuance of stock, the other half is coming from retirement of long term debt. I would have to look at filings much more closely, but this kind of tells me that Bivi's situation, financially speaking, at least as of the last several months, excuse me, I had to yawn. As of the last several months, they've been in a financially precarious situation of losing money constantly and not really having any good news to prop them up. They issued a stock offering August 11th, which is interesting that their stock went up when that happened. They secured FDA approval for phase 2 trial of Parkinson's disease treatment on October 26th. So right here, and obviously somebody knew. Somebody knew. This market pumped big time days ahead of that announcement. So somebody had insider knowledge of this. BioVie treated their first patient in phase 2 trial of Parkinson's disease. Oh, wait a second. This is 2021. I'm not looking far enough in the past. I have to go all the way back here to see all this news. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I did not notice that. Okay, so October 2021 is when they secured that. That's much better. Their phase 2 approval happened a long time ago. So these guys are late stage clinical at this point.
Yeah, I just posted a chart of where they're at on all their trials.
Thank you. That's actually extremely helpful.
Yeah, they're pretty far along. I mean, even at their cash burn, they should be able to reach the finish line.
That's great. That's much better. I thought they were only phase 2 based on that article on October. Yeah, I did not notice that it was 2022. That's my bad. So their phase 2 trial assessing promotoric activity in Parkinson's disease is fully enrolled. Phase 3 study to treat Alzheimer's disease. Oh wow, that's great. So their phase 3 trial for another treatment of Alzheimer's is already completely blown away all expectations. 5 days ago, positive results from mid-stage trials in Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. That's beautiful. So they've got great catalysts. That's excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So the news story from Globe Newswire. Thank you, Scrap, for dropping this. Patients treated with the combination of NE3107, levodopa, saw improvements in UPDRS part 3. I don't know what any of these acronyms mean, man. Clinically meaningful. Patients under 70 years of age treated with this combination experienced roughly 6 points superiority compared to those treated with levodopa alone, suggesting that younger patients with less advanced disease progression may experience greater impact from treatment. 88.9% of patients less than 70 years old treated with this combination experienced greater than 30% Part 3 score improvements from baseline at the 2-hour mark compared to 63.6% of patients treated with levodopa alone. The study has met both objectives. Outstanding. That is clinically significant. So they got phase 2 trials and phase 3 trials for different drug combinations. There are a lot of stocks that we've covered that treat Alzheimer's because it's a prevalent disease that requires some pretty heavy treatment. None of the treatments that are out there really do much. But the clinical significance of this particular company, BioVie, is based on its staging for all of its different phase trials. So, according to this, phase 3 trials for BioVie on their Alzheimer's NE3107, which is the treatment that was specifically named in the study, will be completed sometime in the third quarter of 2023, which is hopefully when the bear market will start to let up. They anticipate filing their NDA in Q4 of 2023 and an anticipated launch of Q2 2024. So we're about a year and a half away from their Alzheimer's treatment going to market. This is a significant company. This could be big. This could definitely be big. There will be time for this to move, but it's very possible this could experience a pretty spectacular push. If that does end up happening, let me go take a look at something else. I want to take a look at their short data. I'll show this to you guys as well. So their short interest is climbing rapidly right now. I probably would stay away from it while shorts are piling in and give it time to come back down because it seems to me like shorts are trying to punish it. Utilization just peaked. But that doesn't mean that they are going to run out of shares to borrow, so they'll find more. They'll always find more. Thank you for the highlights on the study. Okay. NE3107 is the only inhibitor to our knowledge that is being studied for inflammation and insulin resistance in phase 3 trials for Alzheimer's disease. Also being developed for Parkinson's based on similar mechanism of action. BIVI 201 is the only drug to our knowledge currently in development with refractory ascites, a condition with a 50% mortality rate. Ooh. Does anybody know what refractory ascites is?
Ascites is when you get like fluid in your abdomen between your organs and the potential space that shouldn't have anything in there. So I'll have to check what makes it refractory real quick.
Thank you. That does help. So they can it can create similar symptoms as to what one experiences with a collapsed lung or collapsed organs. That sounds awful, man.
It's refractory if it's reoccurring even after draining the fluid out of the abdominal cavity.
Oh,
So you
okay.
you can
Ugh.
drain it for the patient and it'll just keep coming back.
Oh
We
man,
had to do that for all my liver patients.
that's awful, dude. That sucks. Okay.
It makes you look kind of 9 months pregnant sort of deal. That's ascites when you have the fluid in the abdominal cavity.
Oh, acetic. When someone becomes acetic. Okay. All right. I know what you're talking about now. Now I put the two words together. Acetic and ascites. Okay. All right. Basically, when you've been, it looks very similar to like those really terrible pictures of when somebody's been starving so long and they get the gut. That's 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 what it looks like. They're just nothing but a skeleton, but with this huge acetic gut.
And alcoholics get it.
Yeah, yeah. Alcoholics too. Okay. 900 million global peak sales potential. Holy, excuse me? 900 million global peak sales? Oh my god. Let me confirm. Let me
3107.
confirm that because holy crap. That's I need to check that figure. I need to double check that figure.
They're saying 10 plus billion annual peak sales potential.
10 plus billion peak annual for this or for Humira?
E3107. It's in the highlights that I posted there.
Okay. All right. Way off. I'm getting my millions and my billions confused. It's still a huge amount of money. Humira, I'm sorry. Let me just finish the figure. Humira gets as of 2021, the figure of peak global annual sales was 20.7 billion. But this would make this would make 5% of that, basically, or just roughly 5% of that. But the potential for growth would take this. The potential for growth in this drug, especially as it takes off and they're able to raise prices, to start out with 900 million global peak sales is a big deal. That would instantaneously just skyrocket these guys to profitability. Even if they could capture 10% of that, they would cover all of their debt, pay back all their shareholders and lien holders in just 2 quarters and still have money left over.
Hey, TD, can you help me out here? Because I think I might be reading this differently than you.
Okay.
So they're saying NE3107 being used for inflammation and insulin resistance. Alzheimer's is 10 plus billion annual sales. Using it for Parkinson's is 3 plus billion, and that BIV 201 is another 900 million.
Separate fig. Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry. You're right. I was looking at that figure by itself. I didn't add them all up.
Yeah, so you're looking at 50% of Humira.
More than that. Combined, that's about 60%.
I just want you to know I posted a fact sheet with Medicare and Medicaid costs related to Alzheimer's. It's 2 pages. It's pretty interesting.
Wow. That's impressive. They're anticipating that the phase 2 trial for the Parkinsons is going to be released Q2 between. All right, phase 2. Okay, yeah, phase 2A will be completed by. They're saying Q4 of 2022. I'm not sure that they're finally getting through it that quickly, but Q1 2024 is when their phase 2B and 3 trials for the Parkinson's use of that drug will be complete. But by that time, they'll already have filed their they'll already have made their FDA filing for the Alzheimer's treatment for that same drug. So viability for the Alzheimer's is the one with the $10 billion global peak sales. Yeah, that's huge. That would put these guys immediately on par with AbbVie. That's nuts. Holy crap. All right. Well, I really like this company. This is a good one. This is a really good one. Cheers, Oki, for making me look at this. This is nice. This is a really nice valuation for the company. The only question is that do they have the runway? Do they have the cash runway to get there to the other side? They do have a lot of debt. They're still spending a lot of money. Do they have the runway? Will they make it? That's the only question. But I really like the setup for this. Okay. So, BIVI is not a squeeze play. Let's make that very clear for everybody that looks at this later on in the future. This is not a squeeze play. This is one you'll have to be holding for the next 5 to 10 years. This is a long-term investment, something to drop in a retirement account. Very similar to Biora. But they're in their late stage and ready to go to market within the next 2 years. The only question is, will they stand the test of time? Can they get through this market intact? Can they refinance their debt? Can they maintain a long enough cash runway to get them to the end of 2024, by which time they will have finally broken to market and gotten their drug in the hands of doctors for Alzheimer's treatment? But it's very optimistic. It's a really, really worthwhile company to look for. I love how close they are to going to market. That means you don't have a lot of wait time for them to finally get going. That's what I like the most about it, is that this company is ready to go to market right now as soon as they get their trials and their FDA approval taken care of. I think they may be a little bit optimistic that their Alzheimer's drug will get FDA approval in just 2 quarters, but it's possible. Sometimes the FDA takes up to a year, sometimes even longer than that. But if this is a company that, if they're willing to, cut some costs to keep their runway nice and long going into distant 2024, then that's an excellent setup for them. I wouldn't start buying it right this second though, because this price is really high and it ran very quickly. This is going to start coming down at some point here in the near future. I don't think this one's going to, because they're not making money right now. There's no dividends. There's no payout. You're going to do a lot of waiting. And this skyrocketed very quickly. This was a move because an institution made a decision to buy, and it's pushing the stock up very quickly. There's probably going to be some retail fervor around this one. And unfortunately, a lot of bag holders will get caught at these ridiculously high prices. There will be a better opportunity to catch it at a better price. I wouldn't look at this one as like a swing play or a day trade. It's not that kind of stock, in my opinion. This is a big long-term retirement investment.
It's kind of blown out right now. I'd probably be looking at puts.
Right. Like if there were options on it, I would be buying puts at these levels, because right now, like, it's so high. It's just ridiculously high. It moved too quickly. It's not going to stay here. There's not enough traded volume at these levels for it to hold this support. I would wait for it to come back to like $2 or $3, like at least for it to drop by half, because there's nothing fundamentally that's changed as far as like how much money they're making or how much value the company has on hand. And they're still in trial phase, so bad things can happen between now and, the time where they're finally ready to go to market. They can experience delays. So even though their timeline is very optimistic, and shows that they're like ready to go to market as early as Q2 2024, a lot of stuff can happen between now and then. And that's just, just take into account Murphy's Law. Something that can go wrong will go wrong. Just have that in mind when you look at this kind of investment, because it could take much longer than they anticipate. It's a very nice one, though. I really do like it. Good find, Oki. Very good find. I like that. I like that so much. I look forward to seeing what new opportunities we can pull out of that one in the future. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to watch this video. If you enjoyed the content and you found this information helpful to you in your own trading strategies, be sure to leave a like on the video. It helps out the YouTube algorithm and helps us reach out to others who need this information too. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. And if you're not a member of Hell's Trading Floor already, consider joining our Discord by joining us at hellstradingfloor.com, which will allow you to sign up for our Discord at discord.gg/hellstradingfloor. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, have a hell of a time in the markets.